What is up, everyone? Woo! It's been a long time since we got together and did a podcast. I'm LifeFilter.
I'm MegaZone.
Hey guys, Caprica.
So we're gonna have a nice little discussion about a couple things that we've been wanting to do for a while, and what's everyone been up to lately? What about you, Mega?
Well, besides hanging out with my kids for the summer, we've been catching up on some Dragon Ball Z, getting ready for Resurrection of F in the theaters, and
Nice.
we're all caught up. My daughter's all caught up. My son, not so much. He's got a little bit farther to go. Beyond that, we've been playing lots of Smash, like usual, and that's about it for me. How about you, Cap?
That's cool with the DBZ, man. I feel you on that. I pop an episode in at random every once in a while just to feel nostalgic. You know, I'm totally hyped for the new movie though. Like, I haven't watched the Japanese version. I don't care. I'm gonna wait to see it first time in the theater.
Well, how about the Spanish version?
I saw that when I was looking at on the Pirate Bay, and I was like, no, we're gonna skip on that.
Hurricane to Goku!
So yeah, I'm also really excited for that. I've got my theater picked out. I'm gonna buy my tickets for it next week, and the showings will start, and I'm totally hyped for that. I've only been playing a couple games here and there. Still playing my Hearthstone, casually. Getting some hype for the new expansion coming out for that. Been dabbling in some SWTOR content, trying out the new Shadow of Revan stuff, which I'm enjoying. I don't know if it'll last, but I'm enjoying it. Hopefully it'll last me at least long enough until the next expansion when it comes out October, I think, which is going to liven things up a bit, I think. I still need to get back into The Witcher 3 and finish that up. I just took a nice little extended break from that. Do want to play Arkham Knight eventually, but I'm still waiting for everything to get ironed out with that before I go ahead and dive into that, because all know the PC version's all sorts of messed up. Now you got Windows 10 coming out, so it's like, oh, is it going to be all messed up again? Like, already you were telling me earlier that you couldn't even play The Witcher 3 on Windows 10.
Well, I can play The Witcher 3 on Windows 10. Witcher 3 on Windows 10.
Witcher 10, holy
I know.
crap.
You skipped a few.
I
Into the
skipped.
future.
I went 88 miles per hour. But
Now
no.
we need to go back to the past.
Stop it.
Okay, Jack.
So
Sorry, Jack.
I'm able to play it as long as it's not using the GOG Galaxy. So if I just download the game itself and play it, it plays fine. But GOG Galaxy, using that as like the DRM update bullcrap, that doesn't work. It keeps telling me that there's a missing DLL file. I'm like, you know what? Screw you. I'm not going to deal with you. But everything else works. Steam works perfectly. Origin works perfectly. Every single game had no problems. Even Final Fantasy XIV was perfect. So yeah.
Well, that's good. It's good to know.
Yeah, actually, and that too, I have been playing Batman Arkham Knight. I did decide to break down and pick that up. Game's really good so far. No complaints on PS4 at least, so. Or PC.
I hear a wolfie. Is that dog meat?
I can't do anything about it, guys. I'm sorry. I've tried. I've tried everything. She's fed.
It's okay.
She's got water. Let her out. She's just psychotic.
I listen to
It's okay.
talk radio sometimes during the week, and one of the guys has to bring his dog, and his dog is generally very mellow and calm. You never hear him, never even know he's in the studio. And sometimes he gets like OCD, and all of a sudden it's just like, hey, he's got to start barking. He wants something, and nobody can ever figure out what he wants. He's like, here, take a cookie.
The cookies always work for a moment.
Yeah, a moment.
Until they finish it. And roar. Do another cookie.
Oh, that's too funny. Too funny. Oh man. So yeah, that's
so
yeah, that's a pretty good little break, and it was been, what, 2 months since we did our last podcast.
Yeah, it's been a couple months, but it's been a nice little break. E3 happened. Some explosive things happened.
And I think that's what happened. We all got a little too exhausted from all the ET crazy.
I will say that my daughter was watching. I will say that. I will say that my daughter was watching E3 with me, and while watching, of course, the Sony conference. You know, and that one moment when Final Fantasy VII Remake came up, I was screaming to the world, and she's going, "What in the world is wrong with you?" She doesn't understand because, of course, wasn't born at that time when Final Fantasy VII came out, so she's never played it. She knows nothing about it. She just knows from me it's a great game. So,
I was at work and I was watching it on my phone, and my job. I when I get a phone call, I have to mute everything and just not pay attention anymore to that and take the phone call. Well, it started back right on the Sony announcement, and they showed the Final Fantasy trailer, and I was just watching. I'm like, what is this? Is this another Advent Children movie? Really? Screw you guys.
That's what I thought was happening too.
And then when I saw it say remake, I kid you not, I stood up and yelled at the top of my voice and went, yes! And looked around like, okay, I'm alone. Good. Oh man, it was glorious.
I managed to contain my excitement. I was like, oh, hey, well, it's about time. We've only been asking for it for 10 years. But, I am excited. I just feel like it's I think I'll get more excited once it's, ready to come out.
Yeah.
Like right now, it's we have no idea. I mean, it could be 2 or more years for now. Yeah, it's Square. You have no idea. I mean, they've gotten better over the years. But at this point, I'm just like, okay, so they've got to remake this entire game. At least from a visual standpoint, from what I understand, the gameplay is virtually identical. They're just changing the way everything looks, which is great, and it is exciting. But at the same time, do I want to shell out $60 for it? I guess I do, but I feel kind of robbed at the same time. It is still very exciting. It really is. But with stuff like Fallout 4 around the corner and everything else that's coming out, I feel like that's my childhood, and it's always going to be a part of me. But at the same time, I've kind of moved on to bigger things. It's not even that it's a different direction. It's just that it's changed for me over the years. Even my definition of an RPG has kind of changed over the years. I mean, let's be honest. There isn't really any traditional RPGs that exist anymore. Stuff like Final Fantasy VII is gone, man. Nothing plays like that anymore.
I think the last one that played like that was 10.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yes, because 12 was that MMO-ish style battle system.
Yeah, and the only thing to even come remotely close to the turn-based stuff was Bravely Default, which was a smash hit.
Right.
Oh, I can't wait till Bravely 2nd comes out.
Yeah.
Next year, right?
I'm excited too.
I think next year. Yeah, spring of next year is for the US. Oh, dude, I can't wait. That game is I put hundreds of hours into that game. And I'm sorry, I made my guy so powerful that it made it all cheese for you, Cap.
Yeah, it's very cheese. It was very cheese. It's like he'd show up and just everything would die. Be like, oh, that was a boss? Oh, okay.
Oh, 99,999. Okay. I give up.
It did feel like I was cheating the system a little bit.
Yeah, it
just
was
a little,
just a little bit. But hey, it was a fun game.
Well, they built it into the game that way, and the whole turning off the XP thing was in there too, and all that stuff. So it's all part of it.
So, back to E3, I guess, for a moment. So we had some really cool things at E3. We had and we're gonna talk about some of those, and we had some really cool things happen. Besides some of the surprises at Sony, a couple little surprises with Microsoft as well, and some of the things that we normally see. Of course, everybody expected Star Fox Zero to be shown, and of course, as of late, we had some people pass away. And one of the coolest things that we had was at E3, of course, we had the puppets, an Iwata puppet, Miyamoto puppet, and a Reggie puppet turn into the Star Fox crew. And of course, Iwata really had a lot of hopes for Star Fox Zero. It was their biggest thing they wanted to show off. So of course, that's going to be the most memorable thing for me, is having that last laugh with Iwata. His puppet turning into Peppy. No Slippy found in that little group, but what a sad thing for Nintendo. All in all, they've lost two really important people, and what, in a year, or has it been 2 years now?
I don't remember.
Yeah, it's all about the legacy, though, man. Like,
yes,
it sucks and it's unfortunate, and we'll grieve, but look at all the stuff that's been created over those years. Like, he will never disappear.
And so much was influenced because of him.
Exactly.
You know?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, the DS was all because of him. I mean, he's created Kirby. And there's a lot more. There's still stuff that I don't remember every detail that Iwata did, but everything that he did has moved a lot of our technology forward today.
Mm-hmm.
Because technology had to keep up with what Nintendo was doing, pretty much, if they wanted to sell more products and get things out, because Nintendo was selling stuff like hotcakes. They're gonna get over it. Very obviously. Oh no.
I'm sorry.
All I heard right when you were saying something was
yeah.
Trying to go into this like great context about how much
a legacy of someone.
Your dog agrees. Your dog agrees. Okay.
I played all that. Yeah.
Tell Starwolf over there to calm it down.
She's old and senile. She doesn't even hear right. So she's bark. I don't care. I don't care about your video games. I'm just gonna bark. I'm a dog.
Speaking of that, it's actually pretty funny. It's a funny joke. My dog once was sleeping and then farted, woke himself up, and barked. It was the funniest thing. Well,
but yeah, we had the loss, Nintendo, and they'll get over it. He left a legacy, right? And I think that's the thing that we. And even the whole gaming community as a whole, even Sony and Microsoft came together on that, and a very big deal. And we're gonna get over it, and I think that's the main thing. Is they're pushing forward with their NX. All his influence is still there for it, and I'm pretty sure we're gonna see that.
Yeah, and
its life is an inspiration, and
exactly.
It'll provide a lot of inspiration for people going forward and creating, and not just video games, but just ideas. And I think that's what's important, is ideas.
Yeah.
And that's what someone like that had, is brilliant ideas, and they all came to fruition. And look at the amazing stuff they have for nowadays, that the people like us will never forget.
Right, and not only just that, but all of his ideas that will still hang around for lifetimes to come. His legacy will live on.
Well, just think of it this way: how many people how many people's lives he touched? Like, I was at not South by Southwest, the Screw Attack Gaming convention 2 weeks ago, and I think it was 2 weeks ago. Regardless, we were at the cosplay contest, and just the fact that they gave a moment of silence for him, and how many people around me were actually getting emotional because of this, just because they're all people that were touched by him. And I would tell you right now, every single person there had their 3DS with them, at that, sitting there, that was a whole new story. But just the fact that there's something right there that he was touched by, that you were touched by from him, because he helped design that and push that out. So there you go. The video games that you play, and there were so many retro games going on in there that were his influence and things like that. You know, it was a awesome thing to see. Just the fact that people respected the man that never met him. So.
I bet it I mean, it's not even just that. Like, Facebook itself blew up. People that I wouldn't think that would care as much. I had seen them posting pictures of going, "Oh my gosh, this is so horrible," and prayers to him and his family. And then to see the pictures of what people had drawn for him, and to see like Mario, Kirby, Link, and all of them crying, and a picture illustrated. And have Iwata in the picture with wings and going up to heaven. It's surreal, It's and I've seen pictures of even here in Nintendo of America, where people not only put flowers down in front of that sign, but they even put down like their silver Mario amiibos and Kirby plushes and pictures, and it's. It hits home. It really does. And but it's like we said, his legacy will live on, and in fact it's still going to live on in the NX. And that actually brings us to another thing too, is what do we believe the NX will be in the end? We were kind of discussing.
I want to touch that.
yeah. And before we completely go into that, there was a rumor, or actually, Square Enix is trying to kind of throw it away, that it was not something that they wanted to say, and it's not really happening. But it was mentioned in a live stream that Dragon Quest 10 and 11 will be coming to the Nintendo NX. And that got me and LifeFilter here discussing the fact that if it's coming to a Nintendo system, this is not only big, but this means it could be a bit more hardcore. And a light bulb kind of hit in life, and was kind of reminiscing about 2 years ago when rumored specs of a hardcore new Nintendo system was coming. And Life, I'll let you touch on that one.
Well, these specs were leaked 2 years ago, and it was leaked by a developer, because a lot of these games that are coming out for the NX have been in development for 2-3 years already. So, the people were talking about online and saying, "Oh, this can't be true," or anything like that. But, it's a two-piece system. You have a portable handheld device that is essentially a cell phone almost, but just the way it's designed. It's going to be using an ARM, probably 8-core or quad-core processor. It's going to have a custom AMD GPU. This is from these leak specs. 3 gigs of RAM, and a capacitive touchscreen, a slide-out design with swivel hinge, let's say 2 motorized circle pads with haptic feedback, security thumbprint, which you can see the iPhone and the
the Galaxy.
Galaxy has the little
right there.
The little sensor. The ABX and D, ABXY with D-pad, L and R, and in the 1 and 2 button, which makes me think, okay, it has the 1 and 2 buttons, so it could play Wii games, possibly. And then I keep looking through it, and I'm like, okay, it has 32 gigs of possible memory, SD card slot, 3300 milliamp battery. Okay, this is the code name they have on here is called the Fusion DS, which I'm like, okay, that's pretty cool. And then I scroll down even more, it says the Fusion Terminal. I was like, okay, so this is a 2-piece system. One, it's going to be physical system, and then one's going to be an actual home unit, and the other one's going to be a portable unit. And then the home unit, the specs, custom Radeon HD GPU CPU combo, which 2 years ago they weren't talking about consoles with the APUs like the Xbox One and PS4 have, which are AMD APUs, processor and GPU built in. Well, this has that. 2 years ago on the leak specs, and then memory, 4 gigs of RAM with 2 gigs of DDR3, and DDR4 with 4 gigs of unbuffered memory. I don't know why it has that, but and then it has a different type of disk storage called HVD. Sounds like an STD, but HVD and a 3DS card slot on the unit, HDMI with 1080p and 4K display, and the optical base supports Wii U games. And so I looked up, HVD is an actual media storage device, actual media format. And then it says it's going to have 2 different versions, a 60 gig version with a disk slot, and then a version that has no drive that's going to be 300 gigs. It's all internal storage, so you download games. So,
which is something Nintendo is really starting to push now, is the idea of digital.
So when I read that, it dawned on me, I heard other people talking about AMD speaking about the unit using an AMD processor for the NX. So then Mega and we were like, oh, I remember this. This is 2 years ago when I read these specs. So these rumored specs seem more and more plausible than just some guy wishing there's something out there like this. So we're going to keep an eye on this, and if it is, it's going to be badass. We're not going to be the first people to tell you, but hopefully you're hearing it from us the first time. But so
some of the ideas that me and you were discussing earlier, and I think Cap would like this too, is that imagine with
I'm sorry I'm being quiet. This is the first I've heard of this thing, so I'm
okay. No, that's okay, because you're gonna explode here in a minute. Now imagine if Square Enix, this is all true, and they're not totally backing out on their word here. Some guy wasn't speaking on a live stream out of his butt, but generally when something slips out like that, there's generally some truth behind it. Generally, now imagine if this is true. This will be third party coming back to Nintendo, a huge RPG in Japan. And it's also very big here in the West. So now imagine the Fusion DS portion. You can take that anywhere you want. You play it on your main terminal, the console, and oh man, I gotta take a train ride and go visit some family. You know what? I'm gonna take my Fallout 4 or Dragon Age, and I'm going to put it on my Fusion DS and take it with me. Not having to play it on your console, not having to be like the Vita within X amount of range, taking it with you. Yes. Now it's all of a sudden becoming even bigger. You've got a bigger picture. Now you can not only play your console games on the go, which we already know that cell phone games are becoming bigger and bigger and being able to do more graphically, but especially the tablets and whatnot. But taking this with you and then playing your 3DS games, your DS games, and what is the other thing that Nintendo's talking about doing as of late? Ooh, they're looking into the mobile industry with their mobile games. Starting next year, they're going to start talking about it. Why might they be talking about next year? Well, it's possible because of this Fusion DS and the terminal working as one and being able to take it wherever you want.
Well, how you were saying about mobile devices and cell phones being more powerful and being able to do more and more. Well, if you think about it, the new NVIDIA Shield, that processor, the X1, I think it's what it's called. I don't remember. I have to look it up. But that processor has the equivalent performance as an Xbox 360 or a PS3, as in graphically, the graphical power. And
right.
you know, I have the NVIDIA Shield tablet, and that thing has enough power to run Doom BFG edition.
Right.
You know, it runs at 60 frames per second at the max graphic settings. Yet, yeah, that's an old game, but still, it's running at 1080p, and it looks the exact same as the PC version. There's no difference in the two. And it's just mobile devices, mobile CPUs, GPUs, they're getting more powerful every year, and this seems plausible.
Right. And you know, I just now thought about this too, but there was also conversation as well that, you know, 3DS as in the DS line, as it's been continuing, is sort of faltering. It is sort of starting to lose its hype. It's still huge, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But because of cell phones and other mobile devices, it is sort of losing its strength. Now, if this was to happen, who's to say it's not going to gain its strength? Because imagine taking Batman Arkham Knight with you on a train. I mean, boom. I mean,
well, granted, you're never going to have a portable device that is as small as a cell phone that's going to be as powerful as a gaming console or a PC. Correct. In graphics. And
I keep saying cell phone. I should be saying something like tablet or whatnot.
Or even that.
Let's be clear here. You're never going to have something that's as powerful as the most powerful at that time.
Yes.
Correct.
They will never overlap.
Never.
Ever. It's just not possible.
It will be the performance year gap is getting closer and closer, is what they're saying. You know,
without a doubt.
They say in about 4 years, mobile devices are going to have the same performance level as the freaking Xbox One and PS4. In 4 years,
I can see it.
We'll see that. That's what they're saying. The dies on these chipsets are getting more and more powerful as time goes on. And
the only thing that's holding it back is battery tech. I've been saying it forever.
Exactly. And that is true. You cannot have... I was right. It was an X1 chipset. You can't get the X1 chipset on the tablet, with the NVIDIA Shield console, home console. You can't put a battery to it. It won't run enough wattage to give it that performance. And if you ran the same battery that the tablet had, you only get maybe 20 minutes of battery life, if that. I mean, that's rubbish. You can't play anything with that in 20 minutes unless you want to play some Tetris while you take a poop.
We need a Mr. Fusion.
I want to also add in
yeah,
toss some junk in there, not a go.
You're chewing gum, you're done, just put it in your tablet.
I've mentioned, of course, you know, like your Batman, your Dragon Age and whatnot, and Fallout. Could you imagine if it was Call of Duty or Battlefield? These game-changing games that everybody likes to play a lot. It's not something for me. However, they're third party, and if that was to come to something like this, and you could take the game that you want to play on your console on the road, I can't see why anybody would want to go elsewhere and come to Nintendo and play this when you can play it at home and on the road. The exact same game.
I'm honestly thinking it's going to be the other way around, though.
It could be, and it could be.
Because you notice I read the console itself had a 3DS card slot. So it could be handheld to console, but not console to handheld.
And that could be it too.
Unless you're in the same room, just like the Wii U does it, though. You know, that could be, you know, you could stream it to it, but you could take it with you, play the game, your 3DS game or whatever, and then bring it back. But you never know. We may see something that's going to blow our minds on whenever they're going to announce it. And
I mean, we're tossing our opinions out there of what this could still be.
Yeah.
Nobody knows what it is going to be yet. But Another thing to mention, at least game wise, is of course we already know that the Zelda Wii U version has been pushed back.
Mm-hmm.
Now, of course, if NX is being mentioned next year, I would like to throw out that I think what's going to happen with this Zelda game happened to the last one. When the Wii U, when the Wii came into light, Twilight Princess was not only on GameCube like it was initially intended, but also came out on the Wii.
Yep.
With motion controls added. I intend on seeing this Zelda game not only on Wii U, but also on the NX.
Yeah.
And I also want to mention too, guaranteed that knowing Nintendo and their backwards compatibility, you're going to be able to play Wii U games on the NX. It's very plausible that's going to happen. They're pretty popular.
What Nintendo's history is, they drop, like say the Wii U can play Wii games. Well, the NX is not going to be able to play Wii games, but will play Wii U games.
Correct.
So they dropped the previous generation. The previous second generation. See what I mean?
Right.
Well,
I mean, they've done that all throughout the DS, and it's been happening since Game Boy Color into Advance and the DS and now 3DS. So I'd imagine it's going to happen for NX. So those of you who think, oh no, the Wii U's dead, get your NX, play your Wii U games on it. They're not going to dump Smash Brothers. That's stupid.
Well, Well, anyway.
But going beyond that, you have a story about some Nintendo products at SGC, don't you?
Yeah. This is actually pretty funny. At SGC, they had a amiibo competition. You take the amiibos, you take them to the unit, you plop your amiibo on there, and they all fight. And then the winner of the amiibo lives and gets a prize, but the loser, they throw them in the blender and they turn the blender on.
That's awesome.
No, my $90 Little Mac.
Throw them all in the blender.
Well, they went through 3 blenders, and
they must have been using the ones that guy on Willow was using.
These things were ninjas. These were like the pretty hardcore blenders. Okay, the thing is, like, they built these things super duty. Like, Pac-Man looked like Two-Face. Okay.
So this is BattleBots Amiibo edition.
Yeah. And nice. I forgot who won, and then one of the people that were in the competition, they tweeted something out, and it was on the SGC Twitter feed, and he was like, I went to GameStop to buy my amiibo for the competition, probably buying a cheap one, to train him. So he had his 3DS, and he was using the 3DS version to train his amiibo, which is smart if you think about it. Well, at the GameStop, he was waiting in line, and he overheard the person at the clerk there, the salesman, and then the person in line going, "Oh, did you hear about this cockfight they're having in somewhere for amiibos? It's like, yeah, they're gonna destroy these amiibos in this competition if they don't lose." And they got in an argument about it. So then the customer left, and then he goes in line, puts his amiibo down, and the guy goes, "Oh, just this amiibo?" And he's like, "Yep, I need it for the cockfight that we're going to SGC." And then the salesman gets angry at him, and then convinces the salesman to go to SGC to see it because it's just gonna be badass. So yeah, it was awesome. SGC was a blast. I actually got to meet the Kinda Funny crew. That was awesome. Getting to meet Colin, Greg, Nick, and oh my god, why can I forget his name? Why did I forget his name? Tim Getty. There we go. So yeah, it was awesome meeting them. So but Yeah, well, at least the amiibo cockfights didn't involve drugs, but apparently
or actual physical violence.
Or actual physical violence.
Just acts of plastic Armageddon.
They should have used lighters and melted them. That would have been awesome. Or blowtorches. So, it comes to my attention that the esports, they're using drugs. So what's all of this about, Cap?
Oh, right. Well, there was recently some issues that came to light in one of the more prestigious esports professional leagues for a recent Counter-Strike tournament, where a few professional players were admitted that they had been taking what in esports would be considered a performance-enhancing drug in the form of Adderall. And they were tested, and they all tested positive for Adderall in their system. Now, I guess this makes sense because knowing what we know what Adderall does to you...
Actually, I really don't know what Adderall does to you.
Well, it's for people with ADD. So it's like, let's say you're in this huge gaming tournament, and you're about to go in front of thousands of people, and you have to be at your utter performance, like maximum. So it takes the edge off you, makes it so you're not like, there's no stage fright, there's no performance anxiety. You don't have to fight that. Now,
so you just focus, basically.
Yeah, exactly. So to me, it doesn't really sound like, I wouldn't really call that a performance enhancing drug. The fact that they're taking it for that reason makes it a performance enhancing drug. Yeah. Now, if somebody who's on Adderall and prescribed Adderall because they have other problems and they really need it,
that's a different story.
I think so too. So that's why I'm like, I'm iffy on this. I think it's a little too soon to jump on the PED wagon on this.
Yeah, and there's so many different other supplements that do very similar effects. Like Gung Ho works very similar to Adderall. Are they gonna say, oh, you can't use this because it's a performing enhancing drug? Like, no, it's not. And it's really just a supplement.
And they're not going to ban energy drinks because guess what? That's who's paying for all this. That's who all this
shit.
Those are all the sponsors that are involved. So they're not going to say,
Monster,
okay, well, you can't,
Red Bull.
You can't be drinking caffeine. You can't have any of the B vitamins and all that other crap. Yeah, exactly. That's not going to go anywhere because they're making a ton of advertising.
And Doritos. Jeez, man.
I mean, I think the last tournament I saw was Counter-Strike. I think they were tossing around like Game Fuel, Mountain Dew. So they're not gonna stop doing that. No way. That's a lot of money lost for the tournament, sponsor-wise. It's
well. So in regards to that, they have implemented a drug testing regimen, which. I'm sorry, guys. I think it's a little ridiculous. Esports is a young sport. It's not in most light. It's still not really considered professional. I mean, the fact that there's prize pools involved and stuff.
And that's what it comes down to. Is it's all because of money. Mm-hmm. Okay, give Adderall to someone that's playing Minecraft. Like just build a bigger enterprise or something.
They'll just spend more time doing it. That's all.
And so what's the big deal? Personally, I don't care. If it gives me a better show, someone that took Adderall, go for it. If I see a better competition, someone doing a 360 no scope, okay, I don't care. Yeah, as long as it looks cool. But if you're gonna make, if it's a giant pool of money involved, I can see the reasoning behind why they don't want someone to be taking these things.
Well, that's what you just said is exactly the issue. Okay, let's compare the youth of esports as a professional, whatever it is at this point. It's not televised.
No.
It's streamed online, which, granted, in its own right, streaming is huge now. It's just, in a lot of ways, it's bigger than TV.
It was on ESPN too, as well.
Right. So, but what you just said is performance-enhancing drugs in the physical sports scene makes for a better show. I mean, everyone likes to see people hit more home runs, right? I mean, that's just natural. But in its infancy, esports, you're not in a position to say, oh, well, I tuned in to so-and-so's game because I know he's on PEDs and I know he's going to do some crazy shit and it's going to be awesome. That's not why people watch esports.
Just give them all pot and just see what happens.
That would be the best. I see how I would tune into that.
Dude, I don't.
Oh, Doritos.
Oh,
you know what? All right, fine. No,
we're playing a
game.
Hey,
Life,
dude, I think they're watching me.
Take this shot, man. No.
No, man, I'm hungry. I have more important things to do.
Is Doritos
or you get the one person that's paranoid the whole time they're playing. They're like, dude, they're watching me. They're watching me.
Behind themselves all the time.
They're behind that door.
You're watching me on stream. No shit, Sherlock.
There's thousands of people. They're all watching me. I can't screw up. And then the Adderall comes in.
Oh God.
But yeah, that's just it's kind of a silly topic. Like, I get that they're treating it seriously because they want esports to be treated seriously. They want it to become something bigger than what it already is, and it is picking up speed. It's just that with something like esports, it's so much harder to regulate than what we're used to in a traditional sport. Okay, a traditional sport has rules, as does an esport, but a traditional sport evolves much slower than an esport. Over time, we've seen rules change very infrequently in a physical sport. Very infrequently. Whereas you take something like, oh, let's just throw out League of Legends. Every time a new hero is introduced, there's balancing issues immediately and things need to be tweaked.
And then they say, okay, this character cannot be used in the tournament because
exactly.
You know, shit like that. It just gets banned entirely. Or my favorite thing in rules-wise with esports is like no trolling. No misconduct, this and that. It's like, well, okay, yeah, I see people get really ticked off during, you know, an esport here and there. But for the most part, they're all pretty calm, which I think they're on drugs.
I think you're right, because I see some stuff, like, I watch a lot of Hearthstone tournaments, and you want to talk about a game that's enraging in general, Hearthstone is the epitome of that, because it's a very, very, very luck-based game.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, you have a 1 in however many chance of cards left in your deck to draw the exact card that you need to give you, swing you advantage in the game you're playing. And it happens all the time where somebody can be playing their absolute best and make awesome plays. They're doing their math right. They're predicting their opponent's plays. And then their opponent just draws the one card out of their entire deck that swings everything in that exact moment and helps them to win the game. Now, there's a certain amount of excitement involved in that, though, because it can happen at any time and you never know, and it's always oh god, draw a card, and it's all exciting. But
or the exact same thing, you're flipping the table.
Yeah, and then what about the other guy on the other side that is played to his utmost and hasn't screwed up a single turn and is just doing awesome, and then all of a sudden one thing goes wrong, and no one has control over that. It wasn't skill. It was just random chance. It's more of a gamble. And, you know, that's the thing with something like that. A card game's different. Card games take a long time to flesh out and balance as more and more cards come out and are thrown into the pool. It's like Magic the Gathering. Magic the Gathering is incredibly one-sided in its infancy.
Oh, yeah. I know.
And as it grew, it became a lot more balanced because there was more cards, there's more deck possibilities, and that's the sort of thing with a game like Hearthstone. And I think that plays a lot into a lot of games that don't have a fundamental basis like a shooting game. Like a shooting game, it's once it's a certain way, like Counter-Strike, okay? You go for headshots and you play tactically. That's it. You're never going to change that. No one gun's going to be better than another in individual situation. It's just like, okay, if you're up close, a shotgun's going to be king. If you're at range, assault rifle. You know, it's not like a game like Hearthstone or League of Legends where you can get just thrown into a situation where all of a sudden I've got a pentakill, or I just won this game because I drew a card that just did it for me and made me win. Like, but we love it apparently because it's huge and it's growing really, really fast. But that's the thing; it's not about skill; it's about entertainment. That's why I think that the PED thing is a little overstated at this point, because nobody really. I mean, there are people that care about skill, and yeah, there are people that will tune into an esport contest because one of their favorite players is playing. But more often than not, people are tuning in because it's a game that they like, not because there's a certain player that's playing. You know, like I watch all the Hearthstone tournaments just because I love Hearthstone. It's my favorite spectator esport. I love to watch it just because of that craziness. Because at any point, I know anything crazy can happen, and it's nuts, and everybody freaks out, and it's usually funny. But at the same time, when you got money on the line,
and that's where I think the line should be drawn. If money is on the line, tens of thousands, maybe millions of dollars along in the line, do you want someone to be in the same playing field, like mentally even playing field, or do you want someone that is enhanced? That's where it comes down to.
Right.
Someone that's enhanced is going to, of course, have the upper hand on the person that's not, that may have distractions of, oh, my mouse is feeling weird. Let me, some weird ADD things or OCD. You never know. Things can happen.
Carpal tunnel,
dude. That's
what if you just get? I do too. What if you just get a sudden onset of really bad carpal tunnel and your joints freeze up and you can't move your mouse? Do you replay that game or you just forfeit?
You start playing the game with your foot or something. You want your $1 million.
Yeah, I mean, what about bugs? I mean, Hearthstone gets bugs when I'm watching those tournaments all the time, and they'll be like mid game, and all of a sudden there'll be a hard disconnect, or the entire Blizzard servers will go down in the middle of their tournament. And it's like, okay, well, this one guy was winning, he was going to win this game. Now they have to restart the game, and the other guy wins. How is that fair?
That is not fair, personally.
I agree.
If the person was already winning, if that happens, there should be a rule that person wins.
Well, there's where people will debate that.
That's true.
To the end.
That's
only
true.
because
people debate that he could have come back and won at the end.
He could have drawn this card and swung it in his favor.
And that is true. And that shit can happen. So it's true. But, where it comes down to is it's all about entertainment. It's all about your favorite game. And speaking of entertainment and favorite games, what about Shenmue 3?
Oh man, okay. The Final Fantasy VII remake was one thing. It's like we were all like, okay, it's never gonna happen. It's never gonna happen. They even said it's never gonna happen. We all knew it was gonna happen eventually because it's just too much. It's too big. It's too many people want to see it. Shenmue 3. Well, what the hell? Like all of a sudden,
it came out of nowhere.
Like, yeah, it's like I didn't know there were people that still held out hope for this.
Oh, dude, I love the first game. I still have it.
A lot of people do.
I was a big fan, and I almost forgot all about it. Like every now and then, it would pop in my head and be like, hey. But most people I know have, even the ones that are my age are like, what the hell is Shenmue? I don't know what that is. Like Shenmue was what all this shit that you play now was way before.
But that's the thing.
15 years ago.
All the people that played Dreamcast, and this is what it was. Someone actually said this online somewhere. The Sega Saturn and Dreamcast were the games for the hardcore players. And the PS2 was not. Well, now it is, but the PS2 was the mainstream. People loved
at that time.
At that time, your sports game came out on PS2.
Look at the library of like the Sega Dreamcast. There's not really a lot of bad games in it.
No.
Truth be told, there's not a lot
Most
of games in general, but
there's a couple really sucky games here and there, but it's mostly are mediocre and really, really good games.
Well, it's not like when you look at like the PS2 library that was just so big you're guaranteed to have a steaming pile of crap everywhere you look.
Yeah, of course, but since the thing that killed Dreamcast is mainly the fact that you could pirate a game easily. You could say, copy. Well, here's the CD.
Yeah,
and
the
it works.
Thing was, well, yeah, and they were trying to stop that and prevent it, and of course, it just
too
totally
late. It was late.
And it was often overlooked for being incredibly ahead of its time.
Which it was.
With Phantasy Star Online, I mean, I remember sitting in lobbies playing games online, and my friends would be coming over and they're like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Playing Phantasy Star." And they're like, "What the hell is that?" I'm like, "I'm playing online." They're like, "What?" This was like before MMOs were MMOs.
Oh well, so, it's okay. Like
when
I got Dreamcast,
EverQuest.
Right, there was EverQuest, but like
there was no such thing as a console game online at the time. Really,
there was like even even prior to that, there wasn't anything. There were plans for stuff, but it never fleshed out. And then like the next thing that came out was like, what was SOCOM?
Dude, I played.
Was like the big thing.
I fucking played Soul Blade online on 56K modem, which it came with a 56K modem. But I played Soul Blade online with people. This was in the 2000. Yeah. Some people don't even know the frustration with dial-up. Okay.
I think it's bad playing a fighting game on broadband now. Try doing it on that. My God.
Now,
yeah.
What I was gonna say too is like another thing with it was beyond its time too is it was one of the first to have 4-player tag team action. For instance, Marvel vs. Capcom, the first actual arcade port, and they added to it to make it 4 players on one system.
Yeah, well, let's not forget Power Stone. Power Stone was
another
Sega's answer to Super Smash Brothers, and it was a damn good one too.
Oh yeah, it was. The second one's even better.
Yeah, Power Stone 2 was incredible.
Well, it's weird because like I can't really tell which one's better. They're both so good and they're different in their own ways, but yet it's the same game. One's kind of like a Smash Brother fight 'em up, and the other one's trying to be more. And the first one's trying to be like a fighting game, but they're both so good at what they do. Dreamcast so ahead of its time. But back with Shenmue 3,
the Shenmue thing is just I mean, I'm with you guys. Totally, it was the biggest bomb. I think even more so than the Final Fantasy VII.
And not only that, but how quickly
6
they
hours
got so much money in that.
6 hours reached its goal. 6 hours.
I think obviously the majority of that was come from old fans who were like, "Oh my God, this has to happen," and a lot of it also has come from people who just crazy curiosity, like, "I gotta see what this is about," because like at this point, there's not a lot of method to actually go back and play Shenmue 1 and 2 unless you go online and find a Dreamcast and a few old copies of it, or an emulator. I guess you could do that.
Well, the emulators don't really work well anymore. Some reason they just don't work. But yeah, you have to go out and buy a Dreamcast. You can find them. They're really cheap now. Yeah. But the game is not easy to find. That's a hard game to find lately, unless you go on eBay. But now with Shenmue 3 coming out, Shenmue 1 has gone up in price, and Shenmue 2 has gone up in price.
And I'd like to add in there that GameStop is now selling retro gaming systems and games again.
Yeah.
Yep.
And by the way, I did read that it's not like, oh, I'm going to get something and it's going to come to me horribly. No. They are coming to you mint condition. They will not take in systems that are written on, yellow, discolored in any form way. It has to be mint condition, or they will not take it because they want to give it to you perfectly. So you want to get Shenmue and you happen to find it there and it worked out for you, they're going to give you the case, the manual, the game, mint condition. Just think about that. So if you're trying to get it, there's a great way to try and score something good.
That's going to be fun.
I implore anyone that's interested or even just curious to at least try the first Shenmue game. I think a lot of people will be surprised how fun it actually is. And again, like the Dreamcast setting the standard way ahead of its time.
And I can attest to that because I was one of those people that got Shenmue.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, what is this? What's going on? Why is all this like such a cinematic ordeal? And
we went and rented it at Blockbuster.
And to be honest, I was one of those people that kind of put it down and then came back later and was like, I understand this.
Let's be honest, going down to work at the docks and operate the forklift wasn't the most entertaining part of the game, but
no, that was actually the most frustrating part of the game. Just fucking forklift
or going to the arcade and playing the little
I'm sorry, I had a blast at the arcade.
So much fun.
I had a blast at the arcade.
Then when those random QuickTime events would pop up and you'd have to chase somebody in an alley and you're knocking over fruit stands and stuff. Great. Awesome.
So this game is what you're playing when you play God of War.
The
QuickTime events, that game started it. Honestly, I think that's the game that came up with the QuickTime events. I don't know if any other game prior to that, unless it was on PlayStation or the Saturn, that I don't know.
There may have been some stuff that kind of had a feel, but I feel like Shenmue set the groundwork for that thing. And a lot of people, there's a stigma behind QuickTime events. A lot of people don't like them. I think in a cinematic experience, like there shouldn't be just QuickTime events. Obviously, you should have full control and fight scenes and stuff like that. But I think in a cinematic point of view, it's cool to have that in there because it just gives you a slight feeling of control. It's even better if you have options and it's not just tap X as fast as you can.
Yep. Oh, my favorite thing is when you have those QuickTime events and you're just like, not having the QuickTime events, you're just watching it and you go, la 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 la. And then all of a sudden, the button shows up. You're like, oh shit!
Oh my god, that's the most tense moment ever too, because like then you end up hitting the wrong button and you're like, what am I doing?
Speaking of that, this is actually really cool, and this person actually won the cosplay contest at SGC. This person was a girl dressed up as Kratos. Okay, really awesome. So she comes up the stage, hands the guy a Staples Easy button that was painted with an X on there, and then he's like, what's this for? And then she goes, ha! And it slowly moves down. He goes, oh shit! And starts pushing the button really fast. And, and it was the funniest thing I've seen in a while. It was awesome. And she won the contest. The costume looked amazing. The makeup and everything was awesome. But just the fact that she threw that little fun factor to the cosplay, just, it nailed it.
That's classic.
So it was just the fact that the easy button.
That's genius. She deserved a win. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool. Very, very, very cool.
So, got some people in our Twitch chat talking. That's awesome.
Hey everybody.
What's up, guys?
How's it going?
Oh, it's good to have a little activity. What's up,
I know. It's rare to see some activities when you're starting out.
Well, not only that, but this late at night.
Well, people
are in the middle of the week too, you know.
Yeah.
But
especially
I know
with
Caprica,
some other things going on, which we'll get to later.
Yeah, but Caprica is he's holding it in. He's trying.
I see it.
Wait. Hang on. I got a special thing for this.
Oh no.
Where is he? What is he doing?
So apparently, these are incredibly rare, and my wonderful fiance, if she's watching, she's not feeling very well tonight.
Aww.
But if she is, she went out of her way to get this for, well, not just for me, for us, at the Hot Topic that she works near. It was an exclusive for the Hot Topic, which hopefully it's bright enough in here to see.
Oh, that is awesome!
Glow in the dark Vault Boy, and he's super awesome, and he's staying in here, and I love him. And there's some other ones I want to get to that aren't exclusives. Like I really want the Brotherhood of Steel, the Wanderer, there's a Pharaoh Ghoul, and stuff. It was just really, really cool. So,
well, like the video game store that I have here where I live, Game Point, they have a 1-to-1 scale statue of a guy in power armor.
Oh, nice. I've seen those before. Those are badass. And like the T-51B power armor.
Yeah.
The old school power armor.
Huge. And then he has an entire a glass case that has Nuke Cola, Nuke Cola caps, an actual
cool
Pit-Boy that was, scale designed, that he ordered somewhere, and the lunchbox that was not the collector's edition lunchbox, but a lunchbox that was rusted and designed to look like something, from that time era, and it's just awesome,
Very
the way.
Cool.
So, but Fallout 4 coming this year.
I can't be obviously more excited than anything else at this point. I mean, there's so many great games coming out this year and the first quarter of next year that I'm hyped for all of them. But the thing about Fallout is there's so much content that can be done in so many different ways that you can play through a certain way as a certain character with a certain effectiveness that leans towards a certain karma that follows a certain group and goes by a certain code. Play through it, finish it, have a good time, uninstall, put the game away, and then a few months down the road, an idea pops into your head. What if I do it this way? And all of a sudden, you're ready to go again. And that's what's happened with me with Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas, and hell, even Fallout 1 and 2 over the years, where I'll get a hankering, I'll pop it in, and I'll go nuts with it. And now that the PC versions have such huge mod communities, it's just endless, guys.
I am having such a horrible time trying to install in Nevada Skies.
Nevada Skies is the best.
It's such a pain in the ass for me.
It is. I will tell you this: the only problem with Fallout New Vegas and Fallout 3 is the more mods you install, the more critical errors you're going to come up with. Yeah. They will interact with each other in less than happy ways, and you will crash like crazy. So I tend to keep it minimal on the mods. Nevada Skies is one that I always run, only because it makes the game feel so much more realistic. At night, you can't see shit, as well as should be in the desert. And, you know, other little things too, like lighting features in general, weather effects in general, just way more immersive. So to know that Fallout 4 is going to have a completely, you know, just mod door kicked wide the fuck open with a shotgun in hand and everyone ready to go.
Only PC version, though.
Only PC, of course.
Let's say this. Only PC version. You can mod the hell out of a game that's, what, 5-6 years old or older,
and make it look current.
Like, they have a 4K texture pack for Fallout New Vegas that will add graphic textures that look just like something you would see in, like, Crysis or anything like new up-to-date game.
Does this remind anybody of what people modded for Grand Theft Auto 4?
Yeah.
For PC? I mean, it was unbelievable.
That's the ice mod, right? I believe it's called.
I don't remember what it was called, but the
one that it's
videos.
Ultra realistic. Yeah, it's absolutely insane. But before I get off track, I just want to go down a real short list of primary features of Fallout 4 that have, you know, really got me totally stoked. And I think they'll get the gaming community in general really stoked.
I have to ask you one then before you go there.
Sure.
Is one of them building your own house and community and putting up turrets to shoot at people? Because that was totally cool. It's
yes,
like,
it is.
Animal Crossing from Nintendo GameCube. Build your stuff here and put turrets to kill your animals. You know?
I think that's a feature that I wasn't expecting at all. I was expecting some customization to an extent because, like, you know, Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas had multiple areas that you could inhabit and call your own and customize to a very small extent. But for the most part,
you have a bed here.
Oh, I mean, look, now I have to be honest. I've never played a Fallout game before. I really wanted to pick up 3, and I checked out New Vegas a little bit, but I never really picked up a Fallout game. But Fallout 4, I watched that video when they revealed it, the gameplay from beginning to end, and I was blown away.
Well,
everything that I know that they added from the previous one that I remember seeing and hearing a lot of, and it's just, I'm excited to check this game out and see what it's all about. It just feels like it's something that not only can you just play the game, it's kind of like Skyrim in the sense you have endless missions and things to do, but I feel like in Fallout 4, you're just going to keep playing the game because there's just so much to do, and it's not exactly mission-based that it ends. It can just keep going if you want it to. That's how I feel. I could be wrong, but
I've got good news for you. If you're saying you haven't played Fallout 3, recently came to light that anyone who pre-orders or purchases Fallout 4 on PC, as far as I know right now, they may be doing it for PS4 and Xbox One, will be getting a free copy of Fallout 3. So, granted, by the time 4 comes out, well, why the hell you would want to play 3, I have no idea. But at some point, I implore you to play 3 just because of the experience. Yeah. It's the immersion level is just unbeatable. I still think even everybody's either Fallout 3 or Fallout New Vegas. Everyone prefers one over the other. I'm a Fallout 3 guy. I love New Vegas, and I love all the extra features and content that was added with it. But Fallout 3 for me had a more post-apocalyptic immersion fact, and that just has to do with a whole other topic entirely involved in lore and time frames,
and the location too.
Location's a big part of it too. East Coast.
Was that Washington?
Yeah, DC, downtown DC. A lot of things happen differently on the East Coast as opposed to out in the desert and in the West Coast. Like the West Coast vaults and stuff all opened way before the East Coast ones. So there was even the NCR was well established before Vault 101 even opened. And, you know, Vault 101 opens and all of a sudden, you know, you're walking out into this world that's like still desolate and still mostly untouched, and you're still discovering stuff that hasn't been touched for over 200 years. So it has a different feeling of immersion than the other Fallout. So it's not so much better, just different, and that's why I prefer it. I just prefer that angle a little bit more.
Yeah, and I agree with you. You know, the desert, it seems to be that period of time because of all the testing and stuff like that, but it just doesn't have that same post-apocalyptic feel that Fallout 3 had.
Right. It's there, but it's more subtle because you're in an area that's been rebuilt. It has structure. There's a society. There's an economy.
And it's a desert.
There's an army. There's even a government to some extent. There's a president, and there's it's a desert. So like it has features, but it's more featureless in a sense that it's just more wide open space.
Yeah.
And it's just there's more time has been had in that area of the world, in the Fallout world, for stuff to get better. Whereas like in DC it was still more chaotic. There was still a lot of mutants running around and a lot of vaults that hadn't opened. There was civilization to an extent, but it was really sporadic.
Speaking of all this, you know, when I hear about all this and the graphics and things like that, I wanted to play New Vegas, and because that's the only I have that one on Steam. I have the actual physical Fallout 3 game, which won't install on my damn computer now for some reason. But I decided to play Rage, Bethesda game.
Yeah, and I liked Rage.
Rage was awesome. It's just you feel a lot of the hints of how they got the influence from Fallout from that game. It just, instead of a nuclear explosion, it's a gigantic meteor that hits you.
Yeah,
you know. So, but
it's actually a real meteor called Apophis. I think it's an asteroid, actually. Apophis is one it's one that they say that like that it's very likely that inevitably, however many hundreds of thousands of years down the road, will hit the Earth and will fuck everything up. So it's cool that they implemented that into it, and they're like, oh, so this is probably not what would actually happen because we'd be all dead anyway. But Rage just took it into a step to provide an atmosphere,
a nice little storyline.
Yeah. Right. Rage is a very underrated game. Very underrated game.
I've actually been playing it, and it's a really good game. If you have never played Rage, pick it up. It's cheap. You know, it was actually on sale last weekend because of QuakeCon. But
it's a good looking game too.
It looks amazing. You know, and it's you get that Fallout feel. But you also have the gun gameplay of, like, Doom.
Right.
With iron sights.
Oh, Doom. Let's not even get started. That's a whole topic in itself. So that's going to be for next time, I think.
Yeah. But, yeah, if you ever get a chance, pick up the game, play it. It's a fun game. There's racing. There's, you know, like the car buggy racing.
Yeah, the racing. Yeah.
You upgrade your buggies and you race. And they have... It's like a race that... Twist the metal,
like Mad Max,
Mad Max type of race. Yeah, it's a really underrated game. It looks amazing. Actually, the enemies, the whatever they did to make this game the way it is, when you shoot an enemy, the gunshot has that heft to it. They actually will react to where they get hit. And sometimes, if you shoot them in the leg, they'll fall down and they'll try to crawl to you to kill you. So it's definitely a good game to pick up. I recommend it. It's a good game. Cool.
So just to touch a little bit more on Fallout 4 before we move on. The thing about Fallout, one of my favorite things about Fallout is the fact that they design every little bit of your landscape based on real world American locations, and they do a damn good job at it too. It takes some liberties, of course, because it is a fantasy in all rights, but in this case they're taking the inner Boston and outer Boston city limits areas and some of the mountainous areas that lie on the outskirts of Boston, and taking it as close to the scale as possible. We're looking at the creation engine, which I predicted however many years ago Skyrim came out. I said, all right, Fallout 4 is going to run on this engine. I guarantee it. Sure enough, it is, and it looks better than Skyrim in a lot of ways.
Oh, yeah.
They've got new consoles to run it on, obviously, so it's going to look a lot better. Plus the PC version, we're not going to go into that because PC Master Race, but the option for locale was it's almost infinite. But Boston was just one of those things that just had to happen because steeped in the lore of Fallout is a place called the Institute, which was in the pre-war was it's like MIT, lots of really smart dudes thinking up really crazy robotics, and they invented androids and cyborgs and all this crazy stuff. So there's going to be a lot of twisty story stuff involved in this.
It's going to be awesome.
It's going to be wild. There's going to be some really crazy what the twist moments in this game. I can guarantee it. You're looking at some really cool locales. You're talking about Fenway Park's going to be in there. They changed the names, obviously, for all of this.
Yeah.
And, Scalle Square is going to be involved. Bunker Hill Memorial. All this stuff will obviously be slightly changed in name. Paul Revere Monument, USS Constitution. We saw pictures of that, which was like transformed into like a airship a la Skies of Arcadia, which looked awesome. And it looks great. I think it's going to be more like Fallout 3, and I'm all for that. It's East Coast, of course, again. So we're talking about Vault 111 this time. That's, again, opening way later than the West Coast vaults. So I think we're going to get, again, a really good feel of that wasteland. At the same time, there's going to be areas in the Boston area that are very, very heavily populated due to the proximity to the institution.
Oh, dude, I just can't wait for the exploration.
It's going to be, and it's huge, okay? From what I'm told, the actual map is 3 times the size of Skyrim, which is just insane.
Wait, what?
3 multiplication symbol Skyrim. Three times the size of Skyrim.
Oh my god!
And that's the core game. We're not talking about DLC.
I don't think I'm going to be able to play Battlefront.
No, I think we might have to skip it.
No.
I think we might have to skip it.
You're gonna have to still play Battlefront.
In between.
Okay,
maybe.
Okay, as long as you do that, we're satisfied.
Okay.
You're gonna see returns of all the classic stuff that Fallout fans are used to. Your Pip-Boy is back, new and improved. Your VATS is back. Your VATS is back, but your VATS is better this time. It's going to provide more of a challenge. I felt Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas were made too easy with VATS combat and the action point system because you paused.
I
completely paused, and you could just take as much time as you wanted.
I actually never used the VAT. Didn't know it existed when I played Fallout 3.
Well, see, when I first played Fallout 3...
And I played the whole game without it.
I played it on PS3, and I can't aim for shit with sticks. You guys know that.
Yeah.
I need a mouse and a keyboard. So once I played Fallout 3 and New Vegas on PC, I don't need it. I don't use VATS. I really don't. But the fact that it was a straight, solid pause and nothing, it wasn't slowed down. It was a solid pause. You could take as much time as you wanted to aim for whatever you needed. Of course, you'd run out of action points and you couldn't go right back into VATS, but it was a significant advantage to the start of a fight.
Yeah.
Now, in this case...
You could think, okay, do I shoot the head? No, maybe the arm.
Are they far enough away? But there's like a Deathclaw. You want to shoot Deathclaw in the legs because if you cripple the leg, they're never going to be able to get to you. They move stupid slow, so you know that. Now, in this case, VATS is going to work in real time, slowed down. So you're getting more of like a bullet time effect where your combatant can still act. Their actions are limited because they're slowed down, but you're not talking, okay, I paused the game at this point. It's not like that anymore. It's going to be more challenging. And I'm for that. Yeah, I'm totally for that. The structure thing that you were talking about, Mega, this is bigger than you think, dude. It's not just building your old settlements.
I kind of felt like it was going to be, so...
It's ridiculous. Let me just tell you one thing that blew me away when I found out about this. The towns you can build, yes, that's right. I said towns, not just a building. You can construct an entire living, breathing town with NPCs, are powered with working electricity, dynamic power line systems.
Oh yeah, I'd like to add, this is basically SimCity and Fallout 4 you're building here, and in either first person or third person view. So you SimCity fans, jump bandwagon and come to Fallout 4.
Or Terraria.
City will be bigger.
Terraria game.
Yeah, and I really think that they're onto something with this too. I think it's going to draw in a lot more people once they start getting that exposure to the different aspects of this game, not just being traditional Fallout, being like, okay, well, these towns that you build can be raided by NPCs, and they need to be defended not by just turrets and traps and stuff, but by players and NPCs, and merchants need to be there, and medics and stuff to help you with your rataways and your stim packs and things like that. And from what I'm told, dude, the game's done. The game is done, and they're going through testing phases. They're looking for bugs. They're trying to iron out as much as they can before launch. So,
in a game of this caliber and this size, they need the time to find the bugs.
Every open world game is going to have tons of bugs that they didn't see, and even if they make sure we mention this now, because not a lot of people don't understand this. In an open world like that, with so much space to wander, walk, and sometimes someone's going to try and jump somewhere where they shouldn't belong. You are going to find a glitch where you fall through a floor, get stuck in a wall, and you're going to have to restart your game. It's bound to happen, even
if you haven't saved in a while, or hit
job.
A checkpoint or an auto save or something, which we all do it. I've done it. When I started playing The Witcher 3, I
know what you're talking about.
See, we're so used to autosaves in games now that, like, gone are the days, for the most part, where you just spam an F5 every time you turn around a corner or win a fight. Like,
a lot of console players don't know the benefit of F5.
F5 is
so in other words, take your memory cards and put it in and save every 2 minutes manually. PlayStation, PlayStation
what are they? Is this gonna happen with the Final Fantasy VII remake?
Oh my god! Oh,
hey, if they want to keep it original,
you have to run to the save point and
save points. Oh no, I forgot about save points.
And that one save point, and then you could just hit. Oh, thank God! Oh, wait, I need a tent.
Oh, the tents! Oh no. The cottage and tents.
Yeah,
I will say, so many people I've read are very positive about that, but at the same time, they're so worried they're gonna do like an action-oriented Final Fantasy VII, and you know what? They're not gonna do that.
They have plenty of bad things.
That's the thing. That's the thing that when they said it's a remake, not a reimagining of the game.
Right,
you see,
right.
I take the contents of saying remake. It's a 1-to-1 jump, but just updating the graphics.
I mean, let's just go ahead and put in perspective. If it becomes something like Kingdom Hearts, all the magic that was in the original, beyond lightning, fire, and all that, like the other things that you could do, that will all be gone, and that aspect of how much you could do before
Square
less in the game.
Square Enix, or at the time Squaresoft, don't fuck with materia. Don't fuck with the time.
You mess with that, it's gonna seriously screw over.
Just leave it how it is.
Don't mess with the limit breaks. Don't mess with the. You can change the way the levels look and things like that.
Yeah, fine.
Yeah, that's fine if you make it look realistic. Like the train area looks realistic. The slums look realistic. The freaking. Oh, dude! Just realize what the emerald weapon is gonna look like.
Oh yeah. Those
just
guys
imagine.
were huge.
And the ruby weapon.
Without giving out spoilers to those who are gonna try the game, just imagine what the end of
there is
one
no
would be like.
There is no boundaries for spoilers because it's a 20-year-old game. If you have not played this game,
okay, so then reimagine and newer graphics. Okay, for those of you who are super into the way it's said, Aerith. For those of us who don't care, Eris.
Don't care, it's Eris. That's how I read it.
That's how I read it, and that's how it's always going to be for me too.
That's always
Sephiroth coming down like this and stabbing her. Imagine how that's going to look now.
Watch them fuck it up and make her live.
Oh no. You mean like the cheats you could put in and bring her back?
The Game Shark, yeah, it breaks the game though because she's so
things
powerful.
that people don't know today too. Game Sharks and Game Genies. Anyways,
there was nothing like having Eris in your main party and getting all of her awesome limit breaks and not knowing what was going to happen was just like, you mean I invested all of that for absolutely nothing?
And we all did it. We were all...
Because she was my primary healer. She was awesome.
Yes, she was mine too. She was amazing.
I never liked her. Sorry, I never liked her. And
that's fair. That's okay.
But then when she died, I was like, all right. I don't have to. Okay.
Scumbag. You're a piece of shit. You know that?
Well, hey, at least I didn't invest the time like you two did. Okay. So,
well, I never did it again. It was only the first time.
How you could hate someone that holds in their hand a long pole in their hand. You know, I don't understand it. But
wait. Where are you going with this? What about long poles?
Are you talking about Sid?
Sid or Eris, both have poles.
There was a difference. She had a pole. She was the user of the pole, damn it. Whether she danced around it or knew how to use it.
She was a lovely lady. I did not say I didn't like her. But
and by the way, our comments and Twitch are blowing up here. She was a lovely lady by Slippy.
but pretty useless because she dies.
She's not useless in the time that she's there. In the time that she's there, she's like, okay, it's not just about the healing. Her limit breaks made you like practically. There was one that made you invulnerable.
Yeah, that's why they said when they made. I bet you.
We gotta do something. We gotta do something.
When they made this character, it's Square Enix trolling us again. Okay, they make this characters.
Back then, that was an easy solution.
Yeah, just you know what? Just kill her. Just kill her. I don't care. But you know, like last E3, not this one just now, the one previous to that, they debut the Final Fantasy HD, Final Fantasy 7 HD remake of not HD remake, HD collection for PS4, and everyone got excited, and then they saw it was the same game from 20 years ago on PS4. It's a PC port. And then when they saw the videos, that video that looked like Advent Children, people were just like, "Oh God, it's just another fucking Advent Children movie," or
it's a game farther in the future.
Or my favorite reaction video. This guy goes, "Hey, is that Midgar? Is that Midgar? Yeah. Oh, that's Barrett." Oh,
we all had that. We all had that moment where we started freaking out. It was, and on our own too. Like my daughter was looking at me like almost cross-eyed. Like, what is wrong with you, Daddy? Why are you getting so excited? I was like, it's Final Fantasy 7. It's a remake. They're doing it. You don't understand. And I'm just like freaking out. I'm like,
Shenmue and
they said they were going to do this, and now they're doing it.
Final Fantasy 7 remake were the two biggest announcements on top of two biggest announcements that I would say was at E3, and then you have Fallout, and then Fallout 4.
Fallout wasn't a surprise. It was just
there.
Yeah, it was an oh thank God, and it looks awesome.
Yeah,
Final Fantasy
whereas those
7,
other two were totally unexpected.
Yeah,
they came out of nowhere.
Yeah, they came out of nowhere, dude. How good of that was like one of the best kept secrets I've ever heard of from a gaming the community.
You couldn't pay me enough to keep that secret. I'd be telling everyone.
It's like, dude, guess what? They're making a remake.
I mean, there's been some things in the past E3s. I mean, Mega Man coming in Smash was the huge one for me.
Yeah, that's true.
I couldn't even watch it, and I was freaking out talking to Zero SP over the phone, and he's like, oh my god, I'm like, just tell me what it is, man. What is it? He's like, it's Mega Man. I'm like, what? No, you're freaking lying to me, man. He's like, no, it's true. And I'm like, oh my god. And I'm freaking out, and I'm just talking to him over the phone, and it's...
If they ever make another Mega Man game, I swear to God, you'll probably die from a
Yeah, you might actually just have a heart attack.
Yeah,
I think the community will die, and then there'll be nobody that buys it, and then they're just not
no. If they come out with another Mega Man, make it a Mega Man, a new completely franchise, kind of like Mega Man X, but whatever, and just
still Mega Man,
still Mega Man, just a little different, but kept it true to the NES and SNES type of game. Yeah. You probably would have a shit fit. And I think you probably drop a golden brick, maybe an amiibo or two come out of your ass, and
always with the damn amiibos. It always comes back to the damn amiibos, doesn't it? Yeah.
I did start at this time.
No, but it was nice seeing the amiibo getting blended.
Oh yeah, I kind of wish I could have seen that.
Yeah, the sound they made.
But
actually, that was the blender.
I guess we need to start wrapping this up at some point.
No. Okay. Maybe.
Speaking of Mega Man X, though, I do want to mention that there are people who are doing speed plays of Mega Man X and soon to be doing Mega Man.
Oh yeah.
That may be Thursday, I think.
Well, the Mega Man X2 race was yesterday.
Okay. Right.
That was awesome.
And I must say, it's and what I'm speaking of is Summer Games Done Quick 2015. They are taking donations to fight against cancer.
Yes.
So very, very good cause. I don't know where they're up to now. Last I heard, they were up to $320,000. And generally, by the time they're done, it's a whole week thing. By the way, 24/7. They don't stop. They will reach that million mark.
Oh yeah.
And I think last year, didn't they break 2 million?
I don't remember.
It was close. If not, I don't remember.
I played too many video games. My brain cells are dying. It's okay. I don't know. I have some timers.
It is a great place. Some timers. It is a great place, by the way, to find new games, even if they are old, and they do play new games as well and speedrun them. So if you're curious about something, watch them play it and see how into it they get and how they break the game.
Oh yeah, like I watched Echo the Dolphin. I never played the game, but I watched the guy break the hell out of Echo and Earthworm Jim, and I was like, really? I know Earthworm Jim was a hard ass game, and you broke it. You broke it. Wow.
I mean, they didn't do Metroid Prime 1 this year, but previous year I've seen them break the game so much where they could go under the level, skip past everything, and just get where they wanted to go within 2 minutes, rather than spending probably 20 minutes like you're supposed to, going back through, shooting all the enemies. They will break these games.
Yeah.
They will, and then some games they don't have to break. It's just they know exactly where to hit their marks. Super Monkey Ball. They bounce in that ball and they fall quite a few feet and bam, hit something else and it sends them right into the finish line. They know the exact mark to hit that bounces them right where they got to go. But if you got the time, check it out.
Definitely.
See it.
If you have the money, donate. And
if you've got,
it's for a good cause.
If you got $5, donate your $5 and put it towards something like one of their prizes. You can win a prize.
$20 gets you a chance to win a Majora's Mask new 3DS.
That, and also you can also have your name. You could have something said that they read over the air through Twitch. And you can also do things like donating to for Super Metroid Block, whether the animals live or die.
Fucking kill the little assholes.
Oh come on, man! Don't you love the animals? I got you.
They take too much time and effort. Just kill them.
So what you're saying is get the fuck off Zebs and make it to your ship. The fuck out of it.
It depends. If it's 100% game, save the animals. If it's not 100% game, who cares?
Yeah, who cares?
But again, it's for a good cause. Take your time. And even if you're unsure, just check it out for a couple of minutes. They have a schedule that's up. Maybe look through the schedule, see what a game that you're interested in, and check it out.
Yeah.
It's amazing what they're doing. They do it, twice a year? They do a winter and they do summer.
Yep.
I believe the winter one is Awesome Games Done Quick. Isn't that the winter one? Or do they do? Is there 3 of them?
I don't know.
I don't
remember.
Know.
I am suffering some
Twitch
timers.
As soon as they go live, they pop up all over Twitch at the top feed.
It booms, and that's just it. Regardless, check them out. It's absolutely amazing. And don't forget, you can also go to the Yeti, spelt Tee for the Yeti, and any shirt you buy from them also donates straight to Summer Games Done Quick for the against
like $3.
cancer.
$3 goes to the foundation that they're going for.
Correct. So you get an awesome shirt. I mean, it goes to the company, and they donate $3 to fight against cancer, and it's absolutely amazing.
I like it.
And just think of it this way: it's not just older people who get cancer; it's younger children too, who love video games and want to go out and go play sports, and they can't because they're stuck in a hospital. And the only way that they can get some of these things treated and get out and go have fun is from people like yourselves to donate. So take the time and just at least check it out.
Don't forget, tomorrow go and buy a Blizzard at Dairy Queen, and you will help small children very, very much.
Oh, that's good to know.
Plus, you get a freaking Blizzard. So
also, before I forget too, if you have an ad blocker, turn it off when you're watching on Twitch, because when they do an ad, that money goes to Summer Games Done Quick, which also, of course, goes to the against cancer.
Unless you're a Turbo member, then they count the ads anyway.
Yeah, and those guys, they're good about not letting their content get blocked by ads. So they'll take a break while the ad's going, so you're not missing anything. You don't have to worry about like, oh, these ads are annoying, you got cut off. Yep. No, they're good about that. They time their ads. They'll walk off, take a leak break, or have a cigarette or something, come back as soon as the ad's done. So you don't have to worry about missing anything.
Exactly.
That's very true. So, does anybody else want to add anything before we get into closing?
Let's do this more often. Let's get back into it again.
Yes, look forward to us coming back into our normal schedules, everybody. And
usually once a week, or not once a week, every bi-weekly, we're going to try to do this. So
yeah, keep in mind it's tough for us. We all have individual schedules, families, lots of stuff going on. We all work 1 or 2 jobs at least, and it's busy, and it's tough for us. We're trying to do this and have a good time. We love coming together like this. It's always refreshing. This was definitely too long of a break, but I feel like we got somewhere with it too.
We got a lot to talk about, and there's still stuff we want to talk about that we just can't talk about everything in this one block.
Yeah.
So
that's another thing too. If there's a lull, expect it to either be a shorter show or maybe a longer wait for the next one. Like, summer is usually slow. That's why we have E3. Because if it weren't for E3, we wouldn't be doing this right now. We wouldn't have anything to talk about. We'd be bored out of our minds.
No.
But once fall rolls around, stuff's gonna start coming out, and then it's gonna get crazy. Then we're gonna struggle to keep up with it.
And not only we're gonna be doing our podcast, we're also gonna try to do some more streaming. And and we're honestly doing this for you guys, and that's where it comes down to, is we're gonna try to do it for you guys. And if you guys enjoy what we play, let us know. Put a comment, feedback, tell us on our Twitter page or Google Plus, whatever you guys use in these days on the internets.
The interwebs.
Series of tubes.
And we like to play games online too, so if you happen to run into us, don't be afraid to say, "Hey, are you those guys from that show, the MegaZone?" Well, we'll chat with you and have a good time while we play a game, and not afraid to do that.
Yeah, I know. I know Mega's working on a new build. I know, Chris, you just got another camera, and I just got a new camera and stuff, so I've been streaming a lot. I stream as often as I can when I have free time, usually late at night. That's usually the best time for me with my schedule. And once Mega's all set up with his new stuff, then we'll be good to go. We're probably going to try and start rolling out some, we'll probably all do our own individual stuff as we see fit, on less of a schedule, more of a when it's convenient sort of thing. And then we might throw in some either dual streams or triple streams, just like the podcast, where we're actually just playing stuff and having a good time, and just like an ad lib sort of thing. No script, just go crazy and have a good time.
And if you notice that there's a fourth screen, well, that's for our guests. We will have guests on our podcast. That's and right. If you're not watching us, you're listening to us, there's a spot for a fourth person. And oh, look, it's a doggy.
The puppy.
It's a puppy.
A little puppy.
So been barking all night.
Thanks for watching us, by the way, little puppy.
So thank you again, you guys, for sticking with us. And sorry that we haven't been making videos lately, but it's been really busy lately. So yeah, just thank you.
I want to go ahead and mention something down below. I am playing Smash Brothers a lot on the Wii U. I'm going to be a big update for Splatoon next week. I'm looking forward to ranks with some people and play with. You know what? If you want, who knows? Maybe if you put your name down below in the comments and say, what your name is, maybe I'll add you. And lo and behold, you'll be playing with Mega. And who knows? Maybe you'll be in the next episode of Mega Monday or something special that we decide to do. Who knows? Let us know what it is that you would like us to be add you to. So, who knows? We may surprise you, and if we don't add you, don't feel like we're ignoring you. There's a lot of people out there, and we can't add everyone.
Yeah.
So, but we love playing with people, and that's a good thing.
Love you guys. Thank you for sticking around for this, almost 2-hour podcast, it was fun. I loved it. It was awesome. Fun. So, and hopefully you guys see us again soon. And
I want to add to that. Don't forget to hit up Life Filter on Twitter at what Life Filter?
The Life Filter.
The Life Filter, and don't forget to follow the MegaZone at MegaZone Podcast. I myself at the MegaZero. And Caprica?
Yeah, I'm running my both my Twitch and my Twitter are both at Caprica84. Check there's no schedule, like I said, for the stream, but I will post links on my Facebook page and my Twitter page. And obviously, if you follow me, you can sign up for email notifications and all that stuff. So just tune in. Watch, don't watch, I don't care. I'm having a good time either way.
Yeah. That's the thing. We're having fun.
That's right, and we do pay attention. We've had people talk with us on my Mega Buster unboxing that I've been talking with someone back and forth. So, if you follow us on Twitter, I'll say, hey, I'm jumping on Splatoon. So if you happen to say something and go, oh, hey, maybe I do want to play with Mega or Life Filter or Caprica, put it down below in a comment somewhere. We'll add you and we'll play.
I'm sorry, the chat just got me laughing.
I see it now.
Kappa Kitty.
The Kappa Kitty. All right, guys. Well, see you guys later. Thank you again. Game on.
Hey, good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody. Thanks for checking out the MegaZone.